Arbor Creek Site Council. My name is Stephanie Havertate, for those of you that don't know, and I teach 3rd grade here at Arbor Creek. I'm excited to tell you about a new reading program that Arbor Creek has been chosen to pilot. We're very excited about it. Only 5 schools were chosen out of our entire district to do it, so we are so glad that we were chosen to be one of those schools. So Amira is a program that assesses the kids' oral reading fluency and analyzes errors to pinpoint their strengths and weaknesses. Every time a student uses Amira, it generates diagnostic reports to help the teacher and also informs the parents about where their child is reading. In the past, teachers have done these running records one-on-one with students. So that would look like a child coming to a back table with a student and that student reading to the teacher while the other kids are in the classroom working. So it's kind of a situation where the kids are kind of put on the spot a little bit because they know their peers can hear them reading, and then if there's distractions in the room. So we're most excited about this program because it gives individual students a chance just to sit at their own desk and just read one-on-one to the iPad while all the other students in the classroom are doing the exact same thing at the exact same time. This obviously is going to save teachers countless instructional hours because we won't be pulling kids back individually, and sometimes those tests can take anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes per child. So it'll give us more time to be instructing students instead of being kind of stuck at that table testing kids off and on throughout the day for a few weeks. Amira's assessment uniquely combines direct observation with digital adaptation. Amira listens to students read and then creates running records, audio recordings, so as the teacher I can go back and listen to the student reading on my own time when the kids are at recess or at specials, and then it creates report and student progress. In less than 10 minutes, Amira will screen a student for the risk of dyslexia. It will give you indicators of language and reading disorders. Amira's comprehensive screening process reliably identifies students of substantial risk. So it would let us know right away, we think the student might show some indicators of dyslexia, and then it will give them further assessment and practice to let us know about that. As students read, scaffolding help. The A1-driven intervention makes practice more productive. So in the past, we've done little reading groups where we find common kids that might need help with sounding out multisyllabic words, or kids that maybe need to chunk words together, or work on phonetic sounds or spelling or that kind of thing. So this will replace those small groups because it will individualize each child's instruction, and the Amira program will do practice with that child on their specific need. Students will be leveled on the spot. So as a classroom teacher, I will choose where I think the student should start. And as they start reading, the Amira program will either level them down or level them up as they are reading. A student might be leveled down if they fail to make progress in 1 minute, or if the student is reading below 60% accuracy. So that's saying if they mispronounce so many words, the program would automatically detect that that is a struggling level of text for that reader. So instead of making them finish the whole text, it would stop them and take them to a different level. So the great thing about this program is other kids know where other students are. It's their own individual reading group, just by themselves basically. And then it shows the teacher all the data, and then I can work with those kids or watch what they're doing with Amira and report their progress to parents. So the steps in Amira are, first, like I mentioned, the student assessment, where they will read to the Amira program and it will level them on the appropriate level of book that they need. And then it will start a tutoring session, which would be pulled from 15 highly effective reading interventions they have, and it will target exactly what that child needs. And they will practice on Amira. There's a computerized teacher that while they're reading, if they stumble on a word, that teacher would help them sound it out or chunk it out. However, the strategy they're working on helps them to do that. So then after it tutors, it gives the teacher more feedback. So we would say, okay, this is the program's been working on this child with phonetically sounding out sounds. They have passed that, so now it's time to do another running record or assessment to see if their reading level has grown. So we're constantly able to assess and move them higher, keep them where they are to keep working, or possibly move them lower if that is needed. We are able to give a student as many as 20 running records per year. Typically, you do 2 to 3 a year because that's all you have time for with 20 to 25 students, and it takes 10 to 20 minutes per student to give a running record. We're only able to do that twice a year. This program will allow us to test them 20 times. Although we probably would not if we don't have a concern, we are able to do that, and that keeps a continual record of how they're progressing in reading. So we've talked a lot about what could be some hiccups, or why wouldn't we want this program, because it sounds so amazing. So as a staff, we've talked about the pros and the cons, and at this time the only cons we came up with in doing this is that having many readers at one time in the classroom, we were wondering if the iPads might pick up other kids' voices. So in doing some research and speaking with the Amira folks, they showed us a classroom layout that would be perfect for this to happen. And it just so happens that with COVID and our desks already being spread out, that we exactly are in the position we need to be in our classrooms to have our kids do the reading. We've also brainstormed as a staff that we could have a third of our class do it at a time, while the other 2/3 are working on a different assignment. So we could break it up into small groups if there ever were a problem, but Amira has pretty much let us know that you could test a class, or the class could all read at the same time. The other thing we've brainstormed is our higher readers. So this program is really set for K through 3, but our district is amazing, has said we could do it K through 5. So we might have some of those high achieving readers that would test out of the Amira program. So we have brainstormed as a staff, because we've done this for years, how to help those high achieving readers. We already have lesson plans and a plethora of activities for those higher readers to push them to become even higher readers, and not just say, okay, you passed the Amira program, you're good. That's not what we would do. We would keep pushing them and wanting them to become the best readers that they could be. And then the other thing more for teachers is we might still have to do some running records on our own, because Amira mainly focuses on accuracy, like how well they read the text. So as teachers, we still need to come in with that comprehension piece to make sure the students are understanding what they're reading. So we still are working on that. Amira will not replace that. So we absolutely will be working and pulling small groups and working with the kids on comprehension as well. But those were our only 3 little hiccups or things we wanted to brainstorm to make sure we can make the best of this program in all facets of reading. So we are super excited about this. Again, we are so glad the Olathe School District chose us out of over 35 elementary schools, I believe, that we were one of the 5 chosen. So we're super excited. A huge shout out to Dr. Flowers. She's always out there for us, looking out for Arbor Creek and getting the best opportunities possible for our kids, and this is exciting. Our teachers will be trained on this Wednesday. The kids have a half day, and so we will do a training with Amira people and then have time to set up our kids in the system. So we will be ready to go and get them all tested by sometime this fall. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to email me directly. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have about Amira, and if I don't know the answer, I'd be happy to go find it for you. So thanks for listening. We are super excited about this program, and we can't wait to share about all the progress with it. Thanks. Have a great meeting.